Welcome to Devon Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with special guest, Uncle Meshorn.
Hey, what's up, Melissa? How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Moving around, running around, stirring up stuff, trying to make some things happen and everything. It is what it is, but
Yes, it is.
I'm having some fun.
Well, that's a good thing. Now, you have the book out, I'm Not Your Black America.
Right.
However, you're not just having the book out, you're not doing public speaking events.
Not yet. I am doing some with Toastmasters, but not paid events yet. I'm working on those paid events where I can go and let my voice be heard and my talent be known.
Of course. Well, you have to work up to them. It just doesn't happen overnight, just like writing the book.
Right,
It's a process.
right, and I'm working towards it. I have what the good thing is I have a good team of coaches. I have the field. Hey, you know these folks. Hey, you introduced. Who did you introduce me to?
Phil and Susan Sorrentino, the original humor consultants. They're both
Yes,
our coaches.
yes. And so they are getting me prepared to be able to go big time and really do what I believe that I've been called to do. What's interesting about it is all of a sudden when you directed me to talk about you're my coach too.
Mhm.
You're my publisher. And we might as well do a shout out for you as well in there. Uh, uh, what is it, Trent Press? Right? Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yep, you the reason why I got introduced. You're the reason why I'm involved with Antonio T. Smith and everything because of you. But I will say, Melissa, it's something interesting. You put your name out there, you start doing things, and then you get all these other people. The title of my book, "I'm Not Your Black America."
Mhm.
I've done a number of commercials. What I'm saying on interviews, on podcasts. But what I'm finding out is I got people making contact with me, like Les Brown and TEDx and
Mhm.
Speaker Lab and everything. All these people starting to contact me like never before. I don't know if I should uh, consider it that I'm being prepared or what do you think? What you think is happening here?
It's a snowball effect. When you're on the right path, it's like a snowball. Okay. So
Okay,
if you think of it that way, once you start something, it just keeps going.
okay.
And it gets bigger and
You're
bigger and bigger until you
on
make it
that
stop.
slow path. There's a path. This is starting things is just starting to roll up, and eventually it's going to be a big, big snowball, right? That's what you're trying to
Exactly.
tell.
Exactly. And we love our great big snowballs.
Well, I got to get used to the snowballs, being that I'm from Miami, Florida, and I never yet been able to determine what's fun about playing in snow. Okay, so that is I gotta get that metaphor understand because when I think about snow and ice, I'm thinking about putting on the jacket, going in the house, and staying warm. So I gotta get a better understanding about this this snowball because that sounds cold, but that's okay. That's
Okay,
okay.
let's put it in Miami terms. You're familiar with the waves of the ocean, right?
Way, yeah, now we talking. Yeah,
Okay, we got the
the
waves of the
ripples of
ocean.
the waves. Yeah,
We have those little crests, that are really nice and you want to go play in. Then you
yes,
get the
yes,
big ones that you want to go on the surfboard and go
yeah.
surfing.
Now we talking. Yeah,
That's what you're building up to.
that's what I'm building. I'm building up for the big surf.
Yes, there you
There
go.
you go. Now see how we just turned that around. Now you got me. Now I'm excited. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. That snowball thing. I don't know about that one. Okay, that
Well,
sounds a little cold and chilly.
I'm a snow baby. I like to play in the snow. So, get a little bit of snow tubing and get all all that coldness toward me. I'm not very much of a water person, but we'll turn it around for you so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. So, Melissa, I am excited to be here with you. How often do these do these? How often can I come on and talk about my life and my thing?
Oh,
You know,
you're
this
one
is
of our authors. We're going to have you on at least once a month because you have so much going on with Toastmasters, and we're bringing you up on there. Phil and Susan, we're getting you hooked up with TEDx. We're getting you hooked up with a lot of different things. So you're someone that our listeners want to keep contact with at all
yes,
times.
and then I want to throw this and I want to get my book in French, Spanish. Like we yeah, I'm starting to get. I got. I just did the interview. Matter of fact, they just aired the interview today, and I think Susan and Phil listened to it, and my dad listened to it. But the international book tour, which it was recorded from UK, but it was aired to all the African countries and everything and everywhere. I mean, so that is that debut today. Okay,
Mhm.
so I'd love to get a copy of that, but I'm excited about that. So you're right. I do have a lot going on, and once a month, yes, I like to come on there and explain to people that the Uncle Meshorn is trying, not trying. Matter of fact, feeling that I'm doing uh, uh, my book. I'm making it happen. I'm introducing myself to people. I'm letting people know who I am. I'm getting people to, uh, like today, the gentleman who had not read my book. Okay,
Mhm.
I found it very interesting that he was able to ask me good questions surrounding my book that led me to really respond and share some good things. So, um,
So, for our listeners who have not read your book, who have not experienced your book, that are around the world right now, all 2.2 million of you that I know are listening, what is your book about?
well, my book in a nutshell, and I pause for a reason. It's my therapy about my life, my observations, growing up in a racial divided country and learning how to overcome the 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 name calling that this country put us through. And that's the primary conversation, learning how to overcome the the beginnings of America as a person who's now wakening up and willing to say, and now willing to say, I no longer want to be what this America named me. I want to be what God has called me. I'm no longer your Black America.
Very good. Now, I know I've asked you a few times as your publisher, are we going to follow up with the second book?
Everybody has asked me about that. And I've been telling everybody this, and I'm going to keep it 100. I have no plans for a second book. My book, I am learning, I'm learning that there's multiple memoirs of things that must be broken down in my book. That's the part of the reason why I'm going on the tour. I have no desire to write another book. I believe that I'm going to be so busy speaking about what's already in my book. But what I am encouraging is anyone who wants to write from my book, okay? Anyone who wants to continue from chapters from my book, like the paradigm shift, uh, early early years. There are multiple things in my book, Uncle Tom, um, chapters out of my book that I believe that when people read my books, I've actually had people who have called me and said, I think even Phil said that he had to read a couple chapters twice 3 times just to clearly understand the deepness of what my book was all about. So, to answer your question, Melissa, I have no desire. Matter of fact, I'm going to treat it like the Bible. Uh, Many versions of my book is going to be written from other people's perspective, but Uncle Meshorn is only going to write that one version of my book. But I'm going to sit back and want to be interested in answering and listening to people's perspectives about my book. Melissa, I really have enjoyed the getting the different perspectives or hearing people after they read my book. I really understand what it is, and I'm going to say this. I really understand what it is to have a God mentality after you wrote your book, because it's interesting. As you're a person, how many books have you written?
Last year I had 95. I just wrote another 3, so we're 100. No, we're at 98 right now.
98 books. You are 98 books in to my one book. Oof. And I can't imagine talking from your perspective about your books. You have 98 books that you are the god of. Okay. No one can tell you about your books. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. Being an author and a publisher, you cannot tell an author about their books better than they can tell you about their books.
But would you agree, as an author, I get, for myself, I get the most tickled and excited to see the perspectives that people speak from and come from, and that's what I'm tickled about. Hearing and then I'm also, when people are just way off base, okay, way off base, okay, I like to wheel them back in. Like, no, well, I don't know where you were going with that one, but let me fill in. I don't know what you was reading, but that's not where I was going. I've actually had to hold on. You went way somewhere. You know, I love that conversation. Dude, that makes sense. Am I weird? I mean,
No. I as an author, when I put out my very first book, I had someone tell me it was a very political statement. I'm like, it's a fantasy book on fairies in space. I don't know where you got political from, but okay. Awesome.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, right now I'm like a kid with a new toy. You know, everybody wants. I mean, you and everybody else want me to write another book. I'm like, hey, I'm enjoying this book, man. I'm not thinking about writing another book. I'm enjoying conversation. That's why, you know, Phil and Susan have said, Meshorn, you a talker. Oh, you a talker. You love talking. I love talking to people. And now that I've written a book that got people to talk about my thoughts and my things, and that it's beautiful. I just don't think that I will ever have to write another book. I think I will continue being able to expand, and I'm excited. I'm potentially excited about other people writing off of my book. Now, wouldn't that be? Now, that's what I think is an extension. That is kind of like, I believe that's like an extension of me when other people write from your book.
That is very true. That would be pretty much the Bible at that point, because everyone's writing your story for you.
Yes. Somebody else said, I'm not your Black America, and they put their name on it. Yes. Edition, second edition, third edition. From their perspective, what I got from Uncle Meshorn's book. Okay. Oh man, that's for me. I will be honored to seeing people being able to do that. So that's where I'm at.
Well, that's where you are at today. I can't wait to see where you're at next month when we have you back, because you have, like you said, you have the Toastmasters where you're getting all the speaking. These are free. These are basically practice for us.
Right.
That's what I can call them. You have the TEDx type things coming up. We need to get you connected onto the speaking circuit with Speakers Lab, Speakers Hub, things like this. But at the same time, if you could pick one subject to talk about, what would it be today?
Currently, if I could pick one subject to talk about, what would it be today? That's an easy one for me to talk about right now. I would want to talk about eliminating color. That's what that's what my passion is right now. Eliminating color, and the addition to that, protecting the innocence of children, because that's in my book. Okay, I believe I believe it is our responsibility as parents, as adults, as a government, to protect our children. And since you asked that question, probably the immediate thing I want to talk, as much as I want to talk about color, protecting our children, okay, innocence, is what I would say will be the number one thing that I want to talk about. Then color, protecting and speaking on the innocence of our children.
I
You
think
know,
that is a major problem right now, is getting
yes,
our children protected. Not overprotect them, but at the same time keep them safe, especially with all the internet stuff, with the internet abuse that's going on, with the physical, mental, everything. We have to protect our kids. Today is April 3rd. This is, Abuse Awareness Month. Is also Autism Awareness Month. So
wow. I have a chapter. Where I bring a concept called parent gods. Okay,
mhm.
and parent gods is what I feel that all children, before they are introduced to who God is, parents is the first God that they come in contact with before they start learning about the God in heaven. So if the parent gods can't seem to win the trust, respect, and confidence of their children, how is it that we're going to tell them to trust a God that they can't even see, a God that is up in the air? I mean, if the parent gods cannot win the trust, respect, and confidence of their children, and show them that they have a respect for our Father in heaven, then the kids are doomed. The kids are out there left to the world. So I believe that, again, teaching adults that they are the first God to their children, I believe is the most important thing that I could talk about, and trying to, because in my story, in my book, anyone who reads my book, you will find out the abuse in my innocence that was stolen from me when I was a child, still in the diaper. And so that's why that's important to me. And I think I read somewhere before, as an author, it says most authors write about things that they're familiar with or things that has happened to them. And is that true? Would you say that?
Yeah, that is 100% true. But here's another fact: your best speakers have a traumatic past.
Wow. Well,
Something in our past pushes us to speak up, speak loudly, and teach and have people follow us, because we don't want our past repeated by our listeners.
amen. And I can relate to that. That is my motivation. That is it's my past, my experience as a child that has inspired me to write my book. As I tell people, my book was my therapy initially. 100 in my therapy, to get off, to express, to really share. But I really didn't understand how much therapy it was offering to me until it was all finished, Melissa. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
mind telling you, it's one thing to have a ghostwriter talking with you. You spend 2-3 hours with them about whether you're sharing your thoughts with them. They
Mhm.
give it back to you. But I will tell you, Melissa, when that book was finalized, And when I saw it finalized, and I got a copy of my book in the mail to me, okay, and saw it in my hand, I don't mind telling you, it was like a wow, like I birthed something. Okay, it was the best feeling I've had. I mean, it was. I don't mind telling you, it was a hell of a feeling when I realized that something that I took from out of my head and conveyed to somebody to share my thoughts and put my book out there.
Oh, I 100% get it. I have 12 therapy books. Well, actually 24. It's 12 therapy books and 12 therapy journals that I written for myself, which was my therapy to get over abuse. So I can imagine what this therapy was for you.
Yes, it was. To see it, I to see it. I mean, I got a copy of my book right now, in my car.
Yep.
Anybody, hey, if anybody,
Well, they can come and order the book at the Trient Press booth at the Ottawa Book Expo in Ottawa, Canada, April 27th, 7th, and 28th.
Great.
But we are almost out of time, so I don't want to cut you too short, but we will have you back next month.
You do listen here, Coach, you do as you do. I'm on your team.
But for right now, where can our viewers and our listeners find you?
Well, first thing first is that you can find my book
At Walmart.com, called I'm Not Your Black America.
Yes, and I'm Not Your Black America, UncleMeshorn.com, and you can then get it from Walmart, Target, Trent Press. Man, you can get audio, hard copy. Listen up. I'm all over the place. There's no excuse why you cannot have a copy of my book or listen to my book. I'm Not Your Black America.
Very true. And thank you for joining us today. And we'll have you back next month at some point. I love you.
I love you more.
Bye.
Bye-bye.